The following is a transcript of a conversation between Matías De Stefano, referred to as me, and his higher self, referred to as I am. 29th March 2021. Humility. Me. I saw the sky today, graphed in the wonderful temple of Dendera, the house of Hathor, goddess of beauty, light, life, and creation, and I couldn't help but be amazed by our love for what we see in the celestial vault. Humans are linked to the heavens since the beginning of our history. In every step we took, we looked to the sky so as not to get lost. The sun, the moon, the stars were our map, a route that accompanied us beyond geography. Beyond the mountains, rivers, plains, forests, or deserts and seas, the stars were there. I think this is why, as we look at the sky, we feel a familiar longing. Perhaps that is why we say that people who die guide us from the heavens, like new stars, showing us the way as they did in life, guiding us towards the horizon, to a good destination. That need to look at the sky sometimes makes us feel that it is because we miss the stars. But I have the feeling that the real longing is not to return there, but to what I feel when I look at them. I am. When the first human looked, he looked at the heavens. He saw the greatest wonders he could imagine. It is the home of the gods, where everyone seems to go after death, magical place for being untouchable. You can't touch the sun or the stars, and the idea of touching the moon was unthinkable. This generated an idea of divinity, of the unattainable, and by not being able to have experience of it, the human mind designed beliefs, intentions, expectations about the celestial bodies, which nourished their imagination unlimitedly. From the first moment that thinking being looked, marveled at the heavens, to the humans of today who look up. But contemplating the stars leads you not only to discover the greatness of the cosmos, but the insignificance of your existence. Me. We feel small. In the temple of Dendera, as in that of Karnak, we could see how the columns were giant, almost for gods, impossible to read their hieroglyphics by normal humans, with a ceiling so high that it seemed unnecessary. And there in the house of Hathor, on the beautiful cubic capitals, the sacred box of creation, on each of the Hathorian columns, the sky was written, so far away that it is unreachable, almost invisible as the sky itself, decorated with turquoise and other beautiful colors, reminding us that the gods walk through the body of Nut, heaven, and we remain below, far from that heavenly reality. The greatness is such that one feels tiny, and there seems to be no choice but to accept the harsh reality, that in the face of the infinite greatness of the universe, we are nothing. And that hurts, because we have grown up considering ourselves the center of the world, of the cosmos, and when you realize this, it is as if everything collapses. I am. Biologically, you are self-referential beings. This means that beyond the clan, the group, the society, your bodies seek to survive to the point that you would be able to abandon others in order to stay alive. Until cultural empathy is awakened, the need to do everything for the other does not arise, because it is interpreted that survival is not individual but joint. This synapse of individuals strengthens humans, who begin to create group reference ideas. Symbols and traditions become the center of individuals, who seek to stay in a group, referring to that which unites them and makes them who they are. In this way, throughout history and the development of individuals, the human was considered the center of everything, seeing his own culture or thought as the central axis of the world. Me. That's why everyone believes that their culture is the chosen one, or their country is the center of something important and key, or that feeling we have of being important. I am. It is a biological need for survival that developed an autarkic reference psyche, that is, that returns to the power of oneself. This has made us believe that the earth is aware of humans, that the gods do everything for humans, that tradition or religion is the true way, that we are the center of the planetary system, or the very center of the galaxy, believing that it revolves around us. Me. But there comes a time when survival is put aside, and I start thinking. I am. the beginning of philosophy, the search for answers as the only eternal end, not of life, but of wisdom. Thus, fear is transcended, to be amazed by what previously seemed terrifying, the infinite and the finite. By discovering how the world, the solar system, the stars work, we cease to be in the center, and we begin to realize that we are in a tiny corner of the galaxy, not even at a strategic point, but in a common galactic arm, without relevant importance for anything, and we come to know that the Earth in its entirety, within the universe, it is equated to the size of a grain of dust levitating in the environment of a small room within a planet. Me. Nothing. Virtually invisible. I am. So you realize that all your actions affect only your environment, and that they don't even come out of this speck of stardust. Contemplating the greatness of heaven, then, does nothing but show you across reality. Me. Which one? I am. That everything you were, are, and will be is linked only to this speck of dust, and that therefore, the more you look at the stars, the more you recognize the importance of the earth. Me. In what sense? I am. In that you were lucky to be one of the few sentient beings in an organic world that developed life and evolved among all the dead planets and galaxies that exist in the cosmos. As you look at the grandeur of the cosmos, don't you find it more amazing that you exist and can ask yourself these questions looking at the stars? Me. Sure. It's true. We seek to leave the earth, to get away from this world, clouded by the things that may exist in other worlds and systems, when we do not think about how lucky we are to have had the possibility to be here, to think, feel, act. We are unique. I am. So when you look at your story, from the first particle to you, and when you look at the universe, from every particle to conform to you, you must remember that the real wonder is not the brightness of the stars, but that you can be here marveling. Me. Looking at the universe, I should be surprised by my capacity for surprise, rather than by what I see. I am. The trillions of galaxies and planets that exist have always been there for millions of years. It's not new. But what marks the real fascination of creation is that just a few thousand years ago, cells came together to think about those stars and even designed ways to touch them one day. Me. The next time I look at the stars, I must be amazed, then, of my existence more than theirs. I am. That's the most human quality you can find. Do you know it? Me. What is it? I am. Humility. Me. Being humble is related to poverty, scarcity, not having, or leaving what you have in favor of others. What do you mean by one of the greatest attributes? I am. Human comes from the Latin word humus, which means wet earth, mud. Thus, human refers to earthling, made of clay or mud. Humility is the quality of being earthly, of being human. Me. So it's not about austerity. I am. No, it has to do with being consistent with the reality you live, not wanting to be something you're not. Humility is the quality of knowing who you are fully and respecting who others are. Someone is not humble when he imposes his truth on others, wanting to convince the other, dominate him, manipulate him. There are humble rich and proud poor. The reason why you relate humility to poverty is because of a religious connotation, specifically Judeo-Christian or even of Semitic origins, which considers that the human is on earth as divine punishment and that we must do everything possible to free ourselves from this reality. To do so, we must not sin of pride, that is, believe ourselves gods. History says that humans are fallen angels in battle when Lucifer questioned the greatness of God, and he sentenced him to live his revolutionary ideas, to which he dragged thousands of angels. God condemned fallen angels to experience the earth to the limit, and not to lift their heads in his presence. This was called humiliation, kneeling on the ground. The Semitic tradition said that one should not show off, not to want to appear to God, and therefore a life of poverty, austerity, humiliation were the key to the liberation of the soul. This religious tradition was excellent for the empires, which adopted them as a way to maintain stability, without revolutions or ostentation on the part of the people. Life on earth was seen as divine punishment, and therefore humiliation, kneeling and staring at the ground, are seen as a defeat or punishment, and humility as an obligation to sins committed. Me. But in reality, humility is accepting our nature and respecting that of others. I am. Humility is the ability to look at the heavens and marvel. It is the ability to recognize that there is always something more to learn, that you cannot have all the truths. Humility is to be open to recognize how small one is in the face of the greatness of the universe. It is to have an ear to always learn something from others. It is recognizing that we are part of something else, that we are part of a whole. To be humble is to recognize that your personality is not the center of all things, but a tool of the true center that conforms to all that you are. It is recognizing that the ego is a path, but it is not the destination. Me. That I am nothing without the earth. I am. Well, you are the earth. You are its history, past, present, and future. You are each of those who have walked it, part of each human that makes up humanity. You are part of animals, vegetables, and minerals. Look at the world around you. Look at the stars, and turn your gaze to the grains of sand beneath your feet. Both shine equally. Both keep the same wonders. For the world levitates in the sky. The earth is part of the heavenly vault. You live in the heavens, and your skin glows, gleaming before the sun, radiating in trillions of cells just as trillions of stars do. Look at the world under your feet and your hands. Bow down to the world. Observe the wonders that surround your being. For in humility you will learn more from an insect than from a teacher. In humility a tree will teach you about life more than an alien. In humility a child will give you the greatest knowledge. In humility a stone will tell you the most incredible of stories. The spark of a bonfire will teach you the most sublime of illuminations. A drop of water will show you the strength of the ocean. A cell will teach you the power of life, and the dust in the air will remind you of the greatness of galaxies. A smile can nourish you more than any banquet. A hug can protect you more than any mansion. A glance can show you the cosmos without needing to fly in a spaceship. Making love can take you to the highest of dimensions. Smelling a flower will teach you more than any scientist. Petting a street dog will mark your heart more than guiding thousands of people. Cleaning up and recycling the trash around you initiates the inertia of saving the entire planet. Playing with a child can change the world. Recognizing yourself as human is what makes you divine. For divinity is not in the greatness of the stars, but in the small particles that make it possible for it to exist. Me. The greatness of the tiny. Thus I understand that to be human is to recognize myself divine, and the quality of that divinity, to live in the fullness of what is here and now, is called humility. I am. So the next time you judge your capacity for humility, remember and ask yourself, did I forget to be human? Or does the other think he is divine enough to evaluate my humanity? Me. Loving the condition of humanity is the key to living in humility, and from this we will take responsibility for caring for and being part of this small world in the middle of the starry sky. I am. Recognize that you come from the earth and water, honor them in yourself, and remember that you are part of everything that exists, with honor and subtlety. So you will not be afraid to immerse yourself in the muds of the world, because from the darkest muds, the most beautiful of flowers are born. Me. I am human, manifestation of the love story between earth and water. I am, seed of the cosmic tree, which in humility launches itself to grow, to humbly share its fruits with the greatness that it already is. Kneel down and remember where you came from the stellar dream, and caress the entire universe in the sands and dust in the palms of your hands.